There are 3 men in the kingdoms who might have a chance against me. You're not one of them.
Who is Jaime referring to? I know, I've done this topic before. Well, here's a new video from scratch, remove the fluff and tweak some stuff. For all you Stannis lovers out there, I think you'll like it.
You're speaking to the one true king, boy. You will address him as your grace.
Jaime only says this line in the show, so we're going to analyze it in terms of only show characters and only show versions of the characters. As an example, show Ned is a way better fighter than book Ned. But Ned is not one of the 3 because Jaime said might have a chance. This wording implies a current fight, and Headless Ned is already dead. So are other great fighters like Sir Arthur Dayne and Robert Baratheon. Jaime also said 3 men in the kingdoms, meaning the 7 kingdoms, so we need to exclude people in Essos like Khal Drogo, Daario, and Grey Worm, people north of the Wall like Mance Rayder, Tormund Giantsbane, and Styr, Magnar of Then, and people in exile like Euron Greyjoy and Ser Jorah Mormont. And remember, we are not debating who we think are the 3 best fighters other than Jaime. We're trying to figure out which 3 people Jaime thinks might have a chance against him. So we need to exclude people whom Jaime does not know at this point of the story, such as Shagga of the Mountain Clans and fan favorites like the Legend of Janali, Carl Tanner, Jaqen H'ghar, and the man himself, Bronn. Obviously, Hodor is a physical beast, but Hodor's just a stable boy. He's never had formal weapons training thanks to Old Nan. And same with Gendry. His father, Robert Baratheon, was a beast.
I fought with the fury of 10 men, raining blow after blow upon that vile prince before burying my warhammer in his chest.
But Gendry has never been trained, plus Jaime might not even know who Gendry is. These next 8 dudes are all badass, or at least they were in their primes, but I'd be hard pressed to believe that Jaime would rank any of them as numbers 2, 3, or 4 in the entire kingdoms. No way. Except maybe Brynden Tully, otherwise known as the Blackfish since he was the black sheep of the Tully family. Well, he distinguished himself in the War of the Nine Penny Kings, like many of the dudes on this page. As a squire, Jaime was sent to Riverrun for a fortnight since Tywin had been considering a betrothal to Lysa. But Jaime ignored Lysa and just fanboyed out with Brynden, asking the Blackfish about war stories.
Kingslayer.
Brynden was one of Jaime's childhood idols, which makes Brynden's hatred of Jaime for being a Kingslayer pretty sad.
Blackfish.
It's also worth noting that Randyll Tarly beat Robert Baratheon at the Battle of Ashford, the only battle that Robert lost during Robert's rebellion. But Randyll did not beat Robert one-on-one. That's a big misconception. Randyll's forces beat Robert's forces. But Robert wasn't beaten and he wasn't captured. Moving on. These 22 people all either have formal weapons training or battle experience. Meryn Trant is in the Kingsguard, but he's not on Jaime's level. And then there's Sir Mandon Moore. You remember the dude who Cersei hired to kill Tyrion? Jaime had always said that Sir Mandon was the most dangerous of the Kingsguard because his dead, empty eyes gave no hint to his intentions. So some fans include Sir Mandon in their 3, but Jaime was referring more to Sir Mandon's mental state than his fighting prowess. Sir Mandon Moore is insane, so let's 86 him. The show character Locke, who is loosely based off of Amory Lorch in the books, he's pretty good. And Benjen was the first ranger, so he's a solid fighter. And then we've got Beric. Beric Dondarrion was a young pup, as confident as any when he showed up to the Hands Tourney looking for some prize money. But there's no way that these 3 are in Jaime's top 3. How about the Starks? Robb Stark is kicking butt in the War of the Five Kings at the time that Jaime says this to Brienne. But after Robb captures Jaime, Jaime says,
You fight for the Starks, I fight for the Lannisters. And let's end this here and now. Save thousands of lives.
Jaime doesn't seem intimidated at all. And of course we've got Jon Snow, Jaime's last hope for redemption. Show version of Jon becomes a top tier fighter. I mean, he's killed 2 White Walkers one-on-one, that's no joke. But at this point in the story, when Jaime is with Brienne, there's no reason for Jaime to believe that Jon is the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th best fighter in the kingdoms. For all Jaime knows, Jon has never even been in a real fight, let alone won one. Oh, won one. No. I was talking about Jon's fight, saying Jaime wouldn't even know if Jon had won one. Alright dude, we're cool, right? Moving on. The point is, Jaime would not see any of these guys and dolls as the numbers 2, 3, or 4 in the kingdom simply because there are better candidates. These 12 here. The show never defines who Jaime was referring to, so you could make an argument for any combo out of these people, but here's where I stand. Syrio, Ario, and Corn are legends.
Are you men or snakes that you would threaten a child?
Get out of my way, little man.
I am Syrio Forel, your dancing master. And you will be speaking to me with more respect.
When you were whole, it would have been a good fight.
Your traitor father teach you that!
What did he say? To the god of death.
Not today.
Or was it your whole mother?
They all stand a shot against Jaime. But are these his top 3? In the show? Probably not. Great Jon Umber is 7 feet tall, just like Hodor, but twice as wide, at least in the books. He's a physical beast. He's a fan favorite, so some people include him in Jaime's 3. But if you watched only the show, would you feel the same way about the Great Jon as you do from having read the books? Probably not. Because in the show, the Great Jon just sort of disappears and he dies off screen. This is his son here, Small Jon Umber, Rickon's friend. But in the books, Great Jon was at the Red Wedding. They tried to get him drunk to make it easier to subdue him. But even so, it takes 8 men to subdue a drunk Great Jon. He was awesome. Then we've got Thoros of Myr and Bronze Jon Royce. Thoros is my boy.
Now we will begin the dance. The water dance.
That is an uncommonly large person. How does one manage to subdue such an uncommonly large person?
The show finally gave Thoros a shout out in season 7.
Someone I've always wanted to know.
All right.
How drunk were you when you charged through the breach on Pike? The Ironborn thought you were some kind of god. While you were waving that flaming sword. I thought you were the bravest man I ever saw.
Thoros is awesome. He won the melee off screen at the Hands tourney, and Thoros came in second to Bronze Jon Royce a year prior in the melee at the tourney on Prince Joffrey's name day. Thoros has beaten Sandor 3 times in melees, but take that with a grain of salt, because Thoros uses a flaming sword, and Sandor is afraid of flame. Regardless, Thoros is legit and he's awesome. And Bronze Jon Royce beats down Ned and Sir Roderick 2-1 in the training yard, at least in the books. But the show does not highlight any of this stuff, so as badass as their book versions are, I don't think show version of Jaime was referring to any of these 3. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't argue with you if you choose any of these 12, but I think these 6 make more sense than these 6. Book Stannis is a strategic commander. He leads from behind, just like Tywin Lannister. It's a smart thing to do. But show Stannis is top tier, and he always leads his men into battle. He's Hollywood Stannis. Stannis fought his way up onto the walls and took some names. He even went out like a boss. Picture how he got to this tree. He was one of the last men alive, which means he probably took out quite a few Boltons.
Do you have any last words?
Go and do your duty.
And we all know now that Oberyn is legit.
And you know why I've come all the way to this stinking shit pile of a city? For you?
But in the show,
Red Viper of Dawn. You don't get a name like that unless you're deadly, right?
Never seen him fight.
Oh, he's going to die.
personally, I don't think Jaime would reserve a spot in his top 3 based off legend alone. But don't get me wrong, Oberyn's skills were renowned, far and wide. But what about Loras? Loras defeated Jaime in joust at the tourney on Prince Joffrey's name day because jousting was 3/4 horsemanship, and Sir Loras rode superbly, as well as anyone, except maybe Lyanna Stark. Loras came in second at the melee at Bitterbridge. Second out of 116 entrants, that's pretty good. Plus, show version of Loras is an amalgamation of himself and his older brother Garland in the books. We know this since Loras wore Renly's armor in the show at the Battle of Blackwater. This freaked out some of Stannis' forces, the guys who had come over to Stannis after he killed Renly, because they looked up and all of a sudden, Renly's back. They thought the ghost of Renly was attacking them for joining Stannis. Well, that was Loras in the show, but it was Garland Tyrell in the books. Garland was a great fighter. He often trained with 3 men or even 4 because in battle it is seldom one-on-one, and Garland liked to be prepared. Loras himself admitted that Garland was better than him with the sword, which means show Loras, who is an amalgamation of himself and his big brother Garland, while show Loras is a better fighter than book Loras. But even so, of these 6 guys, I still lean towards these 3 over these 3. Jaime admired Dane in the books, and they transferred that admiration to Selmy in the show.
Barristan Selmy. What was he like?
He was A painter. A painter who only used red.
And of course, the Clegane brothers.
Aha! Not a man at all. A hound!
Let's be real, Jaime never mentions Stannis, he mocks Loras, and he has never seen Oberyn fight until Season 4. So back when Jaime said this, in Season 2, Episode 8, who was Jaime referring to? I'm gonna go with the three people that the show is sort of given that aura to, an aura of danger. Sir Gregor Clegane, Sandor Clegane, and Sir Badass the Bold.
Even now I could cut through the five of you like carving a cake.
If you go read about this topic on forums over the years, or the thousands of comments in my first video, you'll see that the overwhelming majority of fans choose these three fighters. But that does not mean that we are right. Like I said, you can make a decent argument for any three of these 12. And if you use line item veto power to forget about this line about the Blackfish.
Get word to the Blackfish. I want a parley.
A parley or a fight? He's an old man.
Then you could slide him in as well, or the Great Jon. At the end of the day, George wrote the books and the show adapted it to screen. But the story lives in your head, so as my favorite author, Brandon Sanderson says, the story's yours. Let me know who you think Jaime was referring to.
Thousands of years, the Night's Watchers held Castle Black against the wildlings.
Until you.